Already, you are looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Detroit Lions. And why are the Detroit Lions 0-16? Because they suck. They lost the practice session today with the Giants because they suck. Detroit Lions suck. Well, welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all this evening's going to spend a little bit of time with me, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in there. Plus, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, if not longer, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Fire away. Little program note here. Next week, I'm going to be gone. I'll be in Mexico. So I'm probably going to go live Thursday night and Friday night, right? Probably maybe after the football game is over. I'll go live after the Giants-Lions preseason game is over. Then I'll be off until I come back the 20th. So I'll be off for 9 days or so. So maybe the 20th or the 21st. I have to see. Actually, we're kind of coming home kind of late. So maybe the 20th or 21st that I'll be coming back, going live. So I'll be off for a little while there. So just a little program note there. So just want to give a little heads up there. So, and if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. I would greatly appreciate it. In the description box below, there's a top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level I got is called the Lawrence Tail. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to it. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if you're not, please feel free, go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 additional Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to my Facebook group called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's a group. Basically, and I say this in all my videos, it's for a moron like me, right? My YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and my Facebook page, it's all called the same thing. It's all called the New York Giants Gridiron. That's why I dumb it down for me. I don't have to, what's my YouTube channel called? What's my Facebook group called? What's the page? It's all called the same thing. Makes it nice and easy for me, right? And we're at over 4,800 members in the group. And usually what I do is the next, after I get done going live, I'll probably spend up to the next 2 hours or so just putting stuff in the group and in the page. Now, I try to get at least 10 things in there every day, almost 365. And if I get internet access, I'm putting stuff in the group and in the page pretty much every day. Now, as I said, whether it's a post, it's a picture, I'm sharing an article on something, something just showing some stats, it's a video, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? I'm getting stuff in there, 7 days a week. And if you become a member, not only do I post stuff in there, but the members post stuff in there as well, too. So, pretty much 7 days a week, almost 365. There's a ton of New York information, Giants information going in the group every day. And the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, I'm the administrator in there, so I'm the only one to post anything in there. But it's basically, it's called the same thing, New York Giants to Gridiron, but it's a page. And as I said, it's the same thing. Once I get done going live here, I'll spend the next couple hours putting stuff in the group and in the page, right? As I said, once again, I try to get at least 10 different things in there every day. But now that the season's is here with these joint practices and training camp and all that, there's tons of pictures of videos and stuff. So it's so easy to put a ton of stuff in the page and in the group every day, right? And I said once again in the page, it's an article, I'm putting a video in there, showing something that just shows some stats on a ball player, anything, something making fun of, once again, making fun of the Eagles and the Cowboys, which are my personal favorites, right? There's a ton of stuff going in there every day, and I don't commingle them. So basically, for the most part, the stuff that I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. I just try to keep them separate. So that way, if you go to the, if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, there's a ton every day, and it's different stuff. All right. So if you go to the, the group, and you become a member and you go to the page and you follow it, you like it and follow it, pretty much 7 days a week during almost 365, almost every day of the year is a ton of New York Giants information every day, right? And I said, you can't always make everybody happy, right? So I always have my money back guarantee. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and become a member, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, well, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. All right, well, hey, day 2 coming soon to a theater near you. Oh, it's like 3 day, huh? I guess I must have some ink on my fingers. A little different story here today, huh? Little different story, right? And just to kind of clarify some things from yesterday, obviously, I'm sure Detroit, got the better. I'm just going from stories I hear and all that. But, some of it also wasn't like, you have to keep this stuff in perspective too. All right. Let me just give me a second. Let me just, okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Some of what I was hearing, like, hearing. Obviously, I never saw anything, just hearing. I mean, you see some videos, but what all these writers are telling you and everything, some of it also was, there were like, receivers wide open, or running open yesterday. It wasn't like, Detroit clamped down on the Giants offense and Daniel Jones just standing back there and he just crumbled under the Detroit rush because we had, 3 or 4 wide receivers. There was like triple covered. That guys were all over him. There was just nowhere to throw the ball. And it wasn't like that. I mean, guys were open. Right. Daniel Jones just had a bad day throwing the ball, but he did start off, from what I read, 6 out of 8, and after that it kind of went downhill. But he sailed some passes. Some passes were high. A couple passes, I don't know, with Darius Slayton, he dropped one went through his hands. I thought I heard or read somebody else dropped another one. So it wasn't like, the unbelievable Detroit defense is just shut down there. No, I mean, so Daniel Jones have a rough afternoon, especially the second half. Oh yeah, sure. Yep, absolutely. Things turned around a little bit today, right? So I mean, some of it also you have to keep in mind, right? You got to keep this stuff in perspective here. I mean, when like the Giants offense and Daniel Jones is dropping back, yeah, I mean, Hutchinson got a sack, somebody else got a sack, so hey, man, hey, you give Detroit all the credit in the world. They won all that. But I mean, also some of it was also, Daniel Jones is dropping back to pass and somebody's open. Like I think Waller was open down the sideline or something like that, and Daniel Jones like overthrows him, Okay. Does that mean, on that one particular play, Detroit dominated? Detroit was the greatest team of all time. Detroit was the better team. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, it's like the first game last year. So Daniel Jones, like, first day of joint practices, drops back the pass. Guys open down the sideline. Maybe it's Wall or whatever, and he throws it over his head. Okay. Once again, does that mean Detroit was the better team on that play? Or in the whole game? Okay. Detroit had nothing to. Sometimes they maybe had nothing to do with Daniel Jones dropping back the pass and throwing it too far. Once again, did Detroit have anything to do with that? It was almost kind of like, try to go full circle. I mean, like game 1 last year, right? The Giants are up, beating the Titans by a point. Titans march down the field. They get in field goal range. Their field goal kicker misses the field goal. Did the Giants, were they the better team on that play? Did they dominate that play? Did they kick the living crap out of Tennessee? I mean, the Giants had nothing to do with the field goal kicker missing it wide. They didn't block it. They might have yelled some stuff at the kicker, but they didn't block it. They didn't get in and get pressure on it. The field goal kicker just missed it. Quite possibly 9 out of 10 times he might make that. It wasn't a super duper far field goal, but it was at least 40 yards. But I mean, going back to day 1 of the practice, if somebody's running down the sideline, they're open, and Daniel Jones just airmails it. That doesn't mean that that the Lions are the greatest team of all time, or the Lions dominated on that play, or this. So there were guys open. So I mean, the Giants just had a rough day, and the Lions were the better team, absolutely. But so it wasn't like I mean, I saw one moron from they got Locked On Giants. Well, they have Locked On everything. They probably have Locked On Lakers, Locked On Celtics, Locked On Yankees. They probably got Locked On, well, they got Locked On Lions. So I was watching a YouTube video from the guy who does Locked On Lions. I don't remember what his name is, but he comes on, the Lions kicked the Giants. You know what? It dominated. Hold your roll there, moron. They didn't dominate today, did they, moron? So, I mean, so some of it, you got to keep some of it in perspective. Sure, I'm sure Detroit from all, was the better team, but, it may not have been quite as bad as things were first reported and all, especially if we're airmailing balls and stuff like that. Detroit didn't have nothing to do with an airmail of a ball. That was Daniel Jones throwing a bad pass, but he made up for it today. Not only did he do, but quite a few people on the team made up for it today. I mean, they had especially who was it? Belton. Man, I tell you what. There was a video I seen with him. They threw a what was it? It was a screen pass. Goff drops back, throws a screen pass, and to number 5. Can't remember what his name was. Montgomery. I think it might be Montgomery. Well, he starts running with it, and all of a sudden, out of like nowhere, out of the picture comes Belton. He comes out of there, just goes right in there, rips the ball out, takes off, and would have scored a touchdown on the play. And then Belton's actually caused another fumble. I mean, so the defense had some pride going for him today. So you got to give them a whole lot of credit there, whole lot of credit. So unfortunately, at least they, the Giants seem to turn it around a little bit. There was about 7,000 articles, of course, from what happened. So the Giants had a much better day on Wednesday against the Lions, according to reports from media on the scene at Allen Park, Michigan, for the joint practice. Daniel Jones was off target on Tuesday, had a better day. Now, once again, he was off target. He threw bad passes, right? But so some of that, did Detroit have anything to do with him airmailing a ball to a guy who might be open down the sideline? Probably not. It was a bad pass. The Giants also repeatedly forced a handful of turnovers from the Detroit offense. So, I mean, you go in there, that's pretty embarrassing, on a practice. And the guy just comes out of nowhere and just basically just takes the ball out of the receiver's hands and takes off for a touchdown. That's embarrassing right there. That's an absolute embarrassment. So plays of the day, 11-11. There's all kinds of little nuggets right here we got that I'm hearing. Parrott seals the edge for a long Jashawn Corbin run. Belton forced a fumble and a fumble recovery and a touchdown, right? Rodarius Williams had a pass defense on a long 50-50 ball. Jones with a TD to a leaping Darius Slayton. I know it was by the side of the end zone. Taylor had a long, nice touchdown pass to Crowder in the corner. Jones hit Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell's coming out in motion. This guy here, was it Connor Hughes? I don't know if you can listen to him here. So that's Connor Hughes. He came, he said he was erratic. It is what it is. He was erratic, but he was a lot better. Like 5 touchdown passes. Pretty good. There was another one, as I said, Dane Belton comes in here. I mean, Goff drops back. They throw a screen pass to number 5. I think it's Montgomery. Leo Line almost tackles him in the backfield, but then I got a freaking nowhere. I mean, Leo Line almost picked the pass off, but then Belton comes out of like nowhere and just rips it right out of his hand. It takes off down the field. What quite possibly might have been a touchdown. It looked like, let me look at this again. Was that Goff backing up? He throws the pass. Yeah, Goff. So Belton takes off, and the only one down the field was maybe about, we got 5, 10, 15, maybe about 15 yards down the field is Goff. So I'm not sure if he's going to try to take Belton on one-on-one. That I'm not exactly sure. But Goff's the only one in between Belton and the end zone. But I mean, that's an embarrassment right there. That's a straight up at your home field and all that, practicing, joint session, and the guy comes right in and just pulls it right at him. It wasn't like he pulled it out. It wasn't like he punched it out and they're scrambling for it, or he popped it out. And he just went in there, grabbed it. Yo, BITCH, give me the ball, right? And he just takes off with it. What a joke. What an absolute joke. That's an embarrassment there for the Lions. Of course, we got injury updates. Of course, we got Devery Hamilton and running back Brightwell did not practice due to some undisclosed injuries. Daboll said Hamilton and Brightwell might not be day-to-day thing, but it might be maybe a week. And they said nothing long-term. But I think I read also where Hamilton was walking in a boot, possibly afterwards. So he was on the sideline. Maybe I got all kinds of these notes here, all kinds of notes here. My goodness, man. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Okay, this is it right here. This is compliments of one of the groups that I'm at. New York Giants News and Updates, a very good group. If you want to join a group, very, very good group on Facebook. Very, very good group. Very informative. They said running back Gary Brightwell with a leg, and they put a question mark after that. Sterling Shepard had a rest day. Evan Neal was in concussion protocol. Devery Hamilton, ankle. They put a question mark after that. And then Nacho had his groin. Ryder Anderson still with his tricep, and he did not practice. But Hamilton was spotted in a boot. So we're not exactly sure. Maybe, I don't know, is it a sprain? Did he tear something in there? Hopefully nothing broken. I guess we'll get better, updates as we go along. Now, obviously, thankfully, you don't want nobody getting injured, period. So, but I mean, and I said, once again, without trying to sound like a total 100% jackwagon, I do apologize. I do. At least it's, you don't want nobody getting injured once again. But at least if it's Hamilton, it's not Andrew Thomas, right? If it's Gary Brightwell, it's not, at least it's not Saquon. But once again, hopefully it's nothing major, and hopefully these guys, we'll be back. Because the shame of it is you got these guys, especially Devery Hamilton and Brightwell as well, too. Because, you got to look, how many guys are they going to want to keep on the 53? How many running backs? 4? That's a lot. I could maybe see 3, right? Eric Gray ain't going nowhere. They just drafted that guy. That guy looks like he has some potential, and I think he's the punt returner, I believe. I mean, according to the quote unquote, the depth chart, right? But so he ain't going nowhere. Of course, some guy named Saquon, I think he might be sticking around too. So now you got, Breida or Brightwell. Now the thing is, with and they both looked, at the times that they had last season that they were in the game, they both shown that they could play. I mean, we're not talking Hall of Famers here. We're not talking all pros and up. But when they were in there, they got their chances. Breida and Brightwell did pretty darn good. Now the thing is that because with Brightwell, you're getting Brightwell, and you're getting the special teams. You're getting a combo there. You're getting I'll take the McDonald's menu meal number 4 with the super size. You're getting a combo meal there, right? With Breida, it's kind of like more or less kind of you're not getting a return man out of him, right? So for Brightwell to stay healthy, let's hope it's for him. It's nothing really drastic. Hopefully it's only about a week or so, and hopefully he'll have a chance to go back in there and compete for a roster spot. But it's the same thing with Adoree Hamilton, right? I mean, he is not guaranteed at all anywhere near shape or form any type of a roster spot, and much less even on the practice squad. So let's hope for the same thing for his sake, that this is something not long term. Hopefully it's only a week or so, and hopefully he'll have a chance to come back and prove himself on the roster, and hopefully get himself a chance maybe to make the final 53. I don't know if he will, but, or at least maybe if he clears waivers, maybe the Giants want to bring him back and maybe put him on the practice squad. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But they're off tomorrow. Okay. And then, of course, we have the preseason game on Friday. But, I mean, there's all kinds of Yo, what's up, Jersey guys? Detroit hasn't had a legit contender since, but yeah. Yeah, 1957. Oh, man. 59-14, I think it was. They beat that. Actually, it was weird because that's Jim Brown's rookie season. 59-14. What a demolition that game was. Holy cow. Woo. They destroyed. But then again, they paid, let's see, that was the 1954 championship game. The Browns beat the Lions 56-10. So that was kind of, I don't know, some kind of payback. I don't know. But two absolute horrible, 56-10 and 59-14. Toilet bowls. But of course, in 1957, that broke the streak for the Giants because they went 56, missed 57. They went 58, 59. Of course, the Eagles had 60, and then the Giants had 61, 62, and 63. Yep. Oh, yeah. Last time, 1957. That was it. Oh, yeah. They won. Well, let's see. They beat the Giants in 35, right? Then they beat the Browns 2 years in a row. I think it was 52 and 53. They beat them 17-7 and 17-7 and 17-16. Then they beat the Giants in 1935, 26-7. And then it was the 59-14 destruction that they had in 1957. They also, in 1932, if you ever, I mean, this is one of those things that really just fascinates me, all of this stuff and everything. 1932, they were tied with the Chicago Bears. They were Portsmouth Spartans. 1934, they changed their name to the Lions, but in 1932, they were Portsmouth Spartans. And they both wound up tied, the Bears and the Spartans / Lions in 1932. The Spartans were 6-1-4, I believe. The Bears were 6-1-6. So basically, the ties didn't count back then. So basically, according to the NFL, they were both 6-1. So they basically had it where they were going to have a playoff game, whatever, to decide who won the championship. Well, it was supposed to, I don't know why, but it was going to be held I'm not sure why, in Chicago. Well, the Bears played at Wrigley Field, but it was bad. There was snow on the ground, and the forecast, which isn't anywhere near as good because we're going back 90 years. The forecast isn't as accurate as nowadays. They were forecasted bad weather once again for the following weekend or so. So it was supposed to be like really cold and just miserable and all of that. So George Halas and all the Chicago Blackhawks were out of town. So they played the 1932 championship game And the only reason why it was a championship game because the two teams wound up tied at 6-1, basically. They played it inside in a hockey rink. It was 80 yards long, 45 yards wide. And I mean, it was just horrible. You couldn't kick field goals because it was too close. They put the goal posts on the end lines. They kicked extra points, but you couldn't kick a field goal. So the Bears wound up winning 9-0 in that one. But the thing is that, it wasn't on a regulation field. That Dutch Clark, who was the best player for the Spartans, was back in college, I think, teaching. After that, I don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those things. It's kind of like, let's have the Super Bowl, right? And after and like with the Eagles last year. Well, Jalen Hurts, he's not going to play in the Super Bowl because he's off back at college teaching in college, so he's not going to be in this. You know what I mean? It just. So the Spartans, their best player, I think, was Colorado. I think he went back to teach or coach there or something. So he didn't even play in the championship game. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Bears had Bronco Nagurski and Red Grange and guys like that. They all played in the championship game, and they wound up winning 9-0. But the one interesting thing is that ties counted in the standings like they do nowadays. Now they're half a win and half a loss. If they had that back then, the Spartans would have won because the Spartans were 6-1-4. So they had like basically four ties. They had, so that would have been 2 wins and 2 losses. So they would have been, what would that have been? They would have been 8-3. The Bears were 6-1-6. So the Bears would have had 3 wins but 3 losses. So the Bears would have been the Lions, Spartans would have been 8-3. The Bears would have been 9-4. So percentage-wise, the Spartans would have had a better winning percentage. So the Spartans would have wound up winning the championship game. But once again, that's one of those things that just fascinates me. I mean, playing a championship game in a hockey rink, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. No, well, they were out of town. The in 1932, the Blackhawks were out of town. I don't know where they were on a road trip. I don't know, whatever. But they went around that weekend or whatever it was, and actually there was just a circus in town too. There was a circus, and one of the players, it might have been from the Bears or something, was throwing up, because the stench, because like elephants, going to the bathroom on the dirt and all of that stuff. Apparently there was like cigarette butts and cigar butts there and all kinds of horrible things in there. And one of the players couldn't stand the stench, and he was puking on the field and everything like that. It was just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Oh yeah, like the old garden, absolutely. But I got all these nuggets here. I mean, first team offensive line was Andrew Thomas, Ben Bredesen, John Michael Schmitz, Mark Lewinsky, Matt Parrott, because Matt Parrott took over for Evan Neal. Joshua Zudu also saw some reps with the first unit at left guard, and Ben Bredesen with first unit at right guard. Micah McFadden started the inside linebacker with Darnay Holmes in the slot. One-on-one drills, defensive lineman Sexy Dexy was 2-0. I guess they were rushing the quarterback. So Dexter Lawrence was 2-0, I guess, and his 2 rushes. Leonard Williams was 2-0. He flashed as Kayvon, and Azeez Ojulari apparently did decently well, too. Also on one-on-one drills for our offensive line, Andrew Thomas was 3-0. Michael Schmitz was 2-0. They won their matchups. According to one report, the Giants' first-team offensive line won all of their one-on-one matchups. So a little bit different than it was yesterday, right? On 7-7 drills, Daniel Jones was 6 for 7 with the touchdown to Darren Waller, running back the touchdowns to Darren Waller, Saquon, and Cole Beasley. Tyrod Taylor threw touchdowns to Bryce Ford Wheaton and Tommy Sweeney. Also on 7-7 drills, Deonte Banks broke up a pass intended for wide receiver Amon Ray St. Brown. Jamon Green getting on the board here with a picked off a pass. And Bobby Okereke broke up 2 passes as well, too. So that also kind of brings me up to, let's see here. Deonte Banks said the first round pick looks legit. This is according to the New York Post. In 7-on-7 periods, Banks blanketed St. Brown. Pretty good. When the pass came that way, Banks swatted the ball to the grass with his left hand. Yes. Fantastic. Love it here, baby. Before that, Banks was all over wide receiver Josh Reynolds and forced an incompletion. Banks' combination of speed and size shows up on the field. So, I mean, once again, does that mean, we're looking at a Hall of Famer and all pro? I hope so. But, he did kind of have a little slow start to camp. Some reports, you see some videos, he's trying to hang in there with guys, and guys are, because, back in the beginning of training camp, you couldn't touch anybody, right? So, I mean, for him to get on his hands on you and stuff like that, if he can't touch you, it makes it kind of difficult. So he had a little slow start and all, but, he's going to start getting acclimated to the game, acclimated to the speed and the players and all that stuff. And if he gets his hands on you and everything, and he can shadow you and whatnot, he seems like he's doing pretty good. So, and he's only going to get better. So, looks like a good pick to me. Glad we got him. Welcome to the Giants, brother. Then another one here, which is going to go into this other report I got here. Something from Jordan Riley. Cool, right? The 7th-round pick out of Oregon put a hit on running back David Montgomery, which he's the one that got the ball ripped out of his hand from Dane Belton. So Montgomery had a bad day, an embarrassing day. I mean, man, I'll tell you what, we would be crucifying Saquon Barkley if this stuff happened to him. But David Montgomery, what a joke of a day. Man. Jordan Riley hit Montgomery, causing a fumble that Kayvon Thibodeau scooped up on the right side, much to the delight of the Giants players lining the sideline. As I said, once again, Montgomery was the one that caught the screen pass from Goff, and Leo the Lion was almost in the back. It looked like Leo almost could have caught the pass himself if he wanted to. But, Montgomery got away from Leo, and then Belton comes in from the out of nowhere. And he just rips the ball right out of his hand and takes off down the field and quite possibly could have scored a touchdown. What a joke of a day for Montgomery. Phew. Absolute garbage day. It says Riley is a loaded 6'5", 315, which is why the defensive coordinator, Wick Martindale, described him described being near him as going to California and standing next to a redwood. He's a big dude. Big dude. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Let's see. 11-11 drills. Daniel Jones completed his first 3 passes, the highlight being a deep in-cut to Isaiah Hodgins. Pass protection on these plays was solid. Also in 11-11, the Giants defense did not allow a first down on Detroit's first 4 plays. Leonard Williams and Micah McFadden also had sacks. Offensive lineman Matt Pant and Ben Bredesen had nice blocks on an outside run by running back Jashawn Corbin for a sizable game. 11-11, Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdowns to Darius Slayton, including a 25-yarder over the middle and another in the back corner of the end zone. Yeah, Slayton went up and got it, just got his 2 feet in bounds before he got knocked out of bounds. Jones did underthrow Slayton on potentially another touchdown. And he also, so I mean, Daniel Jones, he was 12 out of 17. So he still had a couple hiccups in there, right? So he underthrew Slayton on potentially another touchdown. All right. So there's a hiccup right there. And then he also had, I heard about this though, had an interception dropped on a pass intended for Jalen Hyatt. So, he's still, he did very well, but, still had a couple hiccups there. Dane Belton, playing with the first team, forced 2 fumbles, right? One was recovered by him. He didn't even recover it. I mean, it was just, he ripped it right out of Montgomery's hands and just took off down the field. I mean, what unbelievable. I said, we would be crucifying Saquon Barkley if something like that happened. Oh my goodness. I hope they're doing that to Montgomery. I mean, he fumbled the ball 2 times. Wow. Pathetic. Let's see. And let's see. The other fumble was recovered by Kayvon Thibodeau. Belton also had a pass defense, too. Kayvon Thibodeau set the edge on a running play with Thibodeau possibly recovering another fumble. Rodarius Williams had a pass defense on a deep pass. Tyrod Taylor was sacked, but on the next play, he rolled to the right and hit Jamison Crowder for a 30-yard touchdown. Quarterback Daniel Jones finished 11 on 11 drills, going 12 out of 17 with 5 touchdowns. Not too shabby, huh? Outside of the red zone, he was 8 out of 11 with 2 touchdowns. The touchdown passes were to Darius Slayton, who had 2, Paris Campbell had 2, and Darren Waller had 1. Isaiah Hodgins had 3 catches, though. Tyrod Taylor hit Daniel Bellinger for a touchdown. Then a Tyrod to Colin Johnson connection also continued to make plays down the field. First team run defense was strong, and both first and second team defense got good pressure on the quarterback. Those getting sacks or close to the quarterback included Dexter Lawrence, Tamon Fox, all right, Deshaun Bauer, and Cordell Flott. Jordan Riley saw time with the first team and 3 defensive lineman sets and flashed in run defense. So that's good, because you never know, when you're going to want to have the 3 defensive linemen in there, right? Obviously, you're going to keep, are you going to have, 3 defensive linemen and the 2 edge rushers, or are you going to have, maybe Jordan Riley, Sexy Dexy, and you have Leo the Lion, on the edge out here? Maybe he would be like the edge rusher, but I'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's all stuff, during the season, how that pans out. Saquon Barkley did not participate much in drills. Running backs Eric Ray and James Robinson had nice gains on running plays. So obviously there were, obviously the Lions, sure had their own plays and stuff like that. But there's a lot of good stuff to hear. Having Williams in a walk year may be a very good thing. Oh yeah. Well, because he had that 1 year was in 2020. He had like 11, he was on the franchise tag, whatever it was, 16 million or something like that. But, the Giants couldn't come to I guess they couldn't come to an agreement on a deal. So, we gave away 2 draft picks to get him. So they, so they just let him go, they franchise tagged him. So then, of course, Leo wanted to get paid. So what's he do? He has 11 and a half sacks, 10 and a half, 11 and a half sacks, whatever it was. So then he got paid. So once again, hey man, if he has 11 and a half sacks this season, watch out, right? But once again, I mean, this is probably going to be his last, if he's going to, because he's 29 or going to be 30, I mean, I'm sure he has more gas left than if he gets another 2 or 3 year deal. I'm sure, if he plays, he gets another deal and he says the deal is till he's 33. Well, he might play 34, maybe 35, maybe, but nobody's going to give him another 3 year deal or something like that. If he's going to get a 2 or 3 year deal, this might be it. So, this is, it's a big year for him. Absolutely big year. Absolutely. The thing is that, and I hate saying it, if he plays too good, because how it is, when you have good talent around you, right, that makes everybody else better. When you have, like, say, Reggie White, and you got 9 guys got to block Reggie White, well, that makes everybody else on the defensive line that much better. When you got Mean Joe Green and he consumes 2 people, when you got Sexy Dexy, he consumes, that frees up stuff for other people, right? So, because, if Kayvon stays healthy, as Azeez does well, Sexy Dexy does well, if Leo does really well, the problem with that is going to be, is he going to price himself off the Giants roster? Because now we got, at least we're not paying Azeez or Kayvon yet. Yeah, well, Kayvon's making a little bit because he's a first round pick number 5. He's making some decent money, right? But if we're paying Sexy Dexy over $20 million a year, and say Leo has 10 sacks, what's he going to want next year? 20 million? I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know. So just say he wants 20 million, right? Is that going to be too rich for the Giants? Are the Giants going to want to pay Kayvon, the front 4? Kayvon, I don't know, what's he making? 5, 6, somewhere around there, 7. Sexy Dexy, 21, 22, 23. So between Sexy Dexy and Kayvon, it's like 30. We're paying Azeez not much, but Azeez is going to want to get paid, right? If he stays healthy and he has double digits, but I'm saying, but between Sexy Dexy and Kayvon, we're paying, say, 30. Are we going to want to dish out another $20 million? We're going to want to pay 50 something million dollars for the front four there. So that's going to be, that's going to be a, obviously that's a good problem to have, but you hate to see him almost price himself out of the Giants price range. Right. So, but that's going to be interesting to see. Maybe Baldwin. Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything about him though. He'll get on the field. Baldonado, he'll be on the field. He's motivated and walk years. Oh yeah. Yep. No, we could draft his replacement. Sure, absolutely. Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt about that. Sure. And the Giants should know, right, if he's going to be walking or not before the draft. So, once again, you can never have too many edge rushers. You can never have too many good guys on the defensive front. It can never. It's one in the trenches, right? So if Leonard Williams winds up walking and you draft his replacement in the first round, say we're picking, say, number 22, 23, 25 or something like that, you could probably get somebody decent. Maybe not quite as good as Leonard, but who knows? But if you draft his replacement, he's going to be a lot cheaper. He's only if say we're drafting 25, what's he going to cost? $2.5 million a year or something like that. So save yourself a lot of money. Or maybe we get another edge rusher, beef up the edge rushers. Get that third edge rusher in there. That would be pretty good. Shane should make that decision long before his season. Oh yeah. Well, see, a lot of it too is you want to see if he can stay healthy too, because he had that neck injury. So we want to see if he can make it through his season. That last season was the first season he missed 5 games. That was pretty much almost the first 5 games in his career he missed. Can he stay healthy this season? So there's a lot riding on this season. Want to see how well he does and all. If he balls out and does good, that's a good problem to have. Then as I said, but the problem is, how much money do we want to allocate to the defensive front? His age. Oh yeah. Well, I said, let's see. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I looked at this. What was it? I forgot. Was it almost 10,000 snaps he's played? He's played a lot of snaps. Obviously because he's played, quite a few years, but obviously, when you don't miss any time, and you're a good player, you're on the field, So of course, after so many years, the amount of snaps you get really adds up. So let's see what Pro Football Focus, he's played. Oh, okay. My bad. But if you add up college, but he's played 6,600 snaps. But if you add up this year, he'll have well over 7,000 snaps if he stays healthy. That's a lot of snaps, regardless, So, so his age. So what's his birthday here? All right. Well, he's 29. Okay. Next season he'll be 30. Not over the hill or nothing like that. But he'll be well over 7,000 snaps if he stays healthy this year. So, he's got so it's going to be interesting. I have to wait and see. Yeah. And then of course, speaking of that, is it good? No question, but he'll likely want to. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. You got to get that. He wants longer security. You want shorter. He might want 20 something million. You want to give him 16 million. You got to try to, he wants this much guaranteed. You don't want to pay that much guaranteed. You also want to be able to get out in a couple years. So say he signs for 3 or 4 years, the Giants might want to get him where all the guaranteed money's almost up front a lot, so he can get out maybe after 2 years if something goes bad. Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of it's guaranteed money and all that. Sure. Absolutely. Oh yeah. And then the Giants, of course, reported last night they had where's it at here? Oh, here we go. Giants said supposedly having Anthony Barr coming in, but of course that no longer seems like that's the case. Anthony Barr no longer visiting the Giants. It says, in another surprise twist, it appears veteran linebacker Anthony Barr is no longer visiting the Giants, despite reports on Tuesday. NJ.com's Darryl Slater, Giants GM Joe Schoen, said on Wednesday they want to get more evaluation time with some of the younger linebackers on the roster and won't bring Barr in for a visit. So he said Barr just wrapped up a visit with the Saints that was expected to result in a contract. However, it appears Barr wanted to explore his other options and didn't end up signing a contract with the Saints. So, but I think he took a physical with him too. But so Barr won't be coming in. But, yeah. Come on in. Oh no, that's right. No, yeah, come on in. No. So it's good to see, I mean, the Giants bounce back, once again, we got the largest contractual investment should be quarter. Oh yeah. Pass rushers, obviously cornerbacks. Absolutely. That's oh yeah. The Giants don't have a wide receiver right now. They have to worry about that with a big, because we don't have, we don't have a dog, although we, the number one target should be Waller. I mean, I seen a picture today. I guess they were doing red zone, and I guess Daniel Jones was the quarterback. I don't know, but there was a picture. Somebody took a picture, and it was like Waller was in the end zone. It looked like there was like 3 lions around them, which is awesome because that frees up room for the other guys, So that's really, really good. He's going to Nolans. Who's going to Nolans? Leo Lion or Saquon? Going to New Orleans. But it's nice to see, at least the Giants bounce back. Right now, of course, Barr's going to New Orleans. But at least the Giants, they bounce back. I mean, once again, just because they had a good practice here doesn't mean, we're going to the Super Bowl. Right. But then again, once again, because we had a bad little off day, the first time, right, doesn't mean we're total trash. It is kind of weird because you start, I'm in a lot of groups, Facebook groups and stuff like that and all and everything. And you wind up, you see, Daniel Jones had an off day or this happened or that happened. You start seeing all the people just just trash talking. Oh yeah, I knew we stunk. Yeah. It's really comical out there, but it's nice to see the Giants bounce back. As I said, once again, this doesn't mean it was all lopsided today. Absolutely not. Does that mean the Lions had some good plays in there? I'm sure they did. Did they have good plays on defense? I'm sure they probably did. They got a good team, got a lot of good, well-coached, right? But, they got a lot of good talent on the team. They got their defensive front. They got Hutchinson, but I mean, their offensive line's really, really good, and they got some good wide receivers. So I'm sure they had their plays. It was just like the first day. The Giants had some plays, but the Lions probably had a lot more. So it is what it is. But so we'll see. So they're off tomorrow. Oh, here we go. I got that from Don. There you go. Yeah. Nolans. Yeah. It's not New Orleans, Nolans. So they're off tomorrow. And then what I'll probably do is like a post game, like after the pregame is over, or after the pregame is over, right? After the game is over on Friday, I'll probably do like a post game. So if the game starts at 7, it should be over with like 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. So pretty much like right after the game's over, I'll just go live. We'll just talk about the game, see what happened. It's because and once again, with this, you can't take too much out of it because I was reading reports that the Lions look like they're going to be resting a lot of their starters. Might be the same thing with the Giants. They might be, because they had, two physical days back to back, right? So they're going to rest a lot of their starters. Plus, you got to give these guys a chance to try to make the roster. These guys who are on the bubble, So there's only 3 preseason games. I don't think we're having any more joint practices with anybody else, as far as I know. So, so we got 3 preseason games left to go, and these guys on the bubble, they're going to need to get some time in there. Plus, also the first stringers, they did play. They played, some snaps yesterday, some snaps today, so they got something going. But I don't know how many of the starters the Giants are going to be playing. I don't think the Lions are going to be playing many of the starters. We're going to see looks like a lot of backups in there. So we're going to see a lot of a lot of fun stuff in there. Sometimes some weird stuff happens when you got third and fourth stringers in there going up against one another. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll find something to talk about, and then I'll be back probably after the game's over with on Friday. And then after that, I'll be off to Mexico, and I won't be back till like the 20th or the 21st or something like that. But get the Giants game down there. I don't know. I gotta look. I gotta look and see. I'm not sure if the NFL Network's going to have them or something like that. I'm not sure if they're on like CBS or NBC or something like that. I gotta look, because also if I don't even know when the Eagles are playing, because if the Eagles are on the same time the Giants are on, I'm not getting the Giant game. It'll be the Eagles. I'm not sure when the Eagles are playing. I gotta look at that. But but usually the Eagles game, when the Eagles start, when they play, it's usually 7:00 as well. So I don't know if I'll be getting the Giant game down here. That's the one thing that I kind of, especially with the preseason anyway, because I got the Sunday ticket. It's the YouTube Sunday ticket this year. It used to be the DirecTV. Now it's YouTube. So I bought that. So I'll be able to watch all the Giant games, regular season games. It's just a preseason game sometimes that you can't get them, It'll be the Gridiron post game. That's what it's going to be. That's what I'll call it. Exactly. All right. So it's been 51 minutes. So, Jersey guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Right? All right. So, whoever spent any time watching me, thank you. If anybody spends any time watching a replay, this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.